Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican Badman Serge, aka the Floor Price Guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, picks, predictions, and analysis for UFC 100 Prates versus Magny. We do have two bouts that were canceled that we will get into. Cody Garbrandt and Nicholas Dalby will no longer be on the card. Before we get into this, Floor Price Guy, how are you doing, my man?
Listen, champ, how's my shadow boxing? Because yesterday, when your boy put a minus 150 on Trump, we were shadow boxing all night. We were checking out those live odds, champ. And then we're minus 230, and I'm like, okay, well, this feels like Brandon Moreno odds. Then, bro, we're at minus 500. All of a sudden, bro, it's minus 1,000, minus 5,000. You know they give Canelo minus 5,000 when he fights, bro.
Listen,
Woo!
it was a tough 50-round bout. We had, Kamala Harris coming out of the Democratic Legion Academy at an underdog up against Donald Trump, who was coming out of the Republican renegade training camp, and the odds were kind of wavering, and towards the end he kind of took it away early, and it went to the scorecards, right? And the 50 those 50 rounds were scored 277 to 206 or whatever it was. So that's that. We'll leave it at that. We won't get into anything else. This is not a political podcast. Yeah. We'll go into how we did last week for UFC Edmonton, eh? I want to go to Canada one day. I want to try the coffee out there. I hear that what's his name? Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is really good, man. Is it Tim Hortons? I said it correctly, right?
Yeah, you said it correctly. We always say he always says Tim Burton's, and I'm like, brother, that's the filmmaker.
Yeah, I want to try a Tim Hortons, get a coffee, get a bagel, kind of explore the city. But last week's card, here are our picks. We did pretty well. We were 3 to 4 off on the picks for that card. Our picks and our bets are a lot different. We try to put out our picks in the middle of the week, and then towards the end of the week, we put out our bets and our parlays for you guys to look at, consider, tell. We've been doing pretty good so far since we've started. We're about 2 months in already. We initially started this in September. We used to get on calls, right? And we used to have these long conversations about these fights. And I said, you know what? We do it on calls, we do it on spaces. Why don't we just start recording this? It's a passion that we both have. We both research these fights. We both look into these fights. We both have a passion for the fight game and a respect for it. So let's do this. Let's see what we can do and make some people some money while we're doing it, right? We also have X. It's going to be in the description below at Combat Sport Guys. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you follow us. We are steadily growing that account. I say that every week, but we are growing that account. We are there for every fight. We post an immediate fight recap, round by round analysis. People like that. People aren't always able to watch the fight. Whatever, responsibilities they have in their life, whether it's work, whether it's family, anything, they kind of refer to that and they like that. So make sure you check in with us on X. And anything else, Floor Price Guy, before we get into this card?
No, let's vibe, brother. We got an okay card, champ. We got a,
Yeah, I was, the card itself wasn't that good for being 100, right? This is the 100th Apex card that they're throwing, right? Since it's been about. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for my notes here. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Fight Night Magny. Okay,
cool.
But
yeah, the DJs were expecting a little, a little a little special 100 Apex card, but it's. They've clearly let us know their intentions, and they got to fulfill ESPN duties, and there's a lot of up and coming talent that you got to grow, right?
Yeah, and we do have two. We do have two fights that are no longer on the card. The co-main event, Cody Garbrandt versus Mao Johns, is no longer a go. I'm not sure if they found a replacement for Cody Garbrandt, but as of now, that fight is no longer on the card. In addition to that, we no longer have the, Nicholas Dalby versus Elitzu Zelski fight. That was canceled as well on Tuesday, I believe, or Monday night. So that is no longer on the card as well. That is scratched. So we initially had, I believe, 14 fights. Was it 14 or 13? Trickled down to 12 now. So getting into this card, kicking off the card, we have Tresean Gore up against Antonio Trocoli. Gore is 4-2 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Josh Freeman via submission guillotine choke. Trocoli is 12-4-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Shara Magomedov via KO, TKO left hook. Is that correct? Did I have that right? Yeah, he lost to Shara Magomedov, man. It's a bad man to lose to.
The Bullet.
The Bullet, right? We saw him in, what's it called? Abu Dhabi up against Petrosian, and he looked good. He looked good. We'll see.
Good.
Yeah, he looked good. Yeah, I just wanted to double check that.
Look good, champ. So
yeah, so for this fight, I'm sorry, I got distracted. For this fight, Tresean Gore is the favorite at a -180, whereas Trocoli is the underdog at a +148. Real quick for myself, just kind of like, some what's the word I'm looking for? Some context. Gore has 1 win in the UFC, and he has been off for some time. He's a wrestler, right? He's a come forward wrestler. He looks to primarily wrestle, whereas Trocoli on the other side, he's tall. He's really tall for the division, and his key to victory would probably be to look to maintain the range and slowly creep into the pocket and look to secure some takedowns. Will it be easy? Who knows? He can strike and he can wrestle. Fun fact is when he fought Shara Magomedov, he took that fight on short notice. He took it on short notice. A lot of people are saying, oh, he got knocked out by Shara, but he took the fight on short notice and he looked okay. He didn't look the best. But I think this fight can go either way. But for me, given the height advantage, I think Trocoli can take it, utilizing his reach and keeping the fight at range. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. How about you, my man?
I like if he could keep Gore distance, because listen, like, I'm sorry, but Gore is not that tall for that division. I mean, 6 foot is great, but you're dealing with somebody with a 5-inch height advantage, and then we add on top of 5-inch reach advantage. Sorry, it's not. It's 5 inches. If he's able to, move with it's all going to depend on his footwork, champ. I really think if he, puts it together, has the footwork to maintain him off bay, keep the pump in the jab, I think he gets secured. But if he lets this dude kind of like mitigates his way, because overhand right, takedown, it's going to be a long night. But I'm going with you, champ. I like your Trocoli on this one. I don't feel that 2-1 underdog. Almost it's warranted for Gore. I don't think he's earned that. I'll go with Trocoli. I like my bets. I'm gonna get dirty, so let's go Trocoli.
All right, so we're both going with Trocoli in this fight, and I'm gonna, like I said, this can go either way. My confidence level is gonna be a low for this fight.
Low as well for me.
Yeah. Next up, we have Cortavious Romious up against Gaston Bolanos. Now, Romious is 9-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Michael Imperato via unanimous decision. Bolanos on the other end is 7-4 and is 2-3 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Marcus McGee via KO strikes. Now, Cortavious is the favorite at a -175, whereas Bolanos is the underdog at a +140. When you look at Romious, he's well-rounded. He's primarily known for his grappling prowess. His fighting style includes a good blend of striking and ground control, with a notable ability to finish fights via submission, often fighting from his back. I think Romious has more paths to victory in this fight. He's going to look to mix it up. When you look at Bolanos, he is known for his striking, particularly with his background in Muay Thai, where he was a world champion. He has a aggressive stand-up game and powerful kicks and punches. He will really have to utilize his takedown defense and aim to keep this fight on his feet if he wants a chance. But up against Romious, who can mix it up, I think he's going to have a tough time. So the pick for me is going to be Cortavious Romious to pull out a dub.
I gotta say, I don't know. We're kind of linked up today. What's going on, champ? Did you get
I'm
my?
under the weather. I'm under the weather, brother. So I don't know, man. It could be doing something to me.
I mean, let's hope not, because then we're gonna go. We're gonna flag out. You're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like Romious. I like him a little bit more. The height difference and the reach difference goes to Gaston, but I think if Cortavius can utilize his wrestling and make it dirty, I don't see an issue with this champ. And also, like, yeah, I'll say this. I'll go with Cortavius. It is low though. It is low.
Yeah, it's going to be a low as well for myself. A lot of these are going to be low. There is some confident picks I have here, but it's going to be low for this one. We'll move on here. Next up, we have a women's bout. We have Melissa Mullins up against Claudia Sygula. Mullins is the favorite at a minus 260, whereas Sygula is the underdog at a plus 195. Now Mullins is 6-1 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Nora Cornell via KO, knee to the body, followed by kicks. Sygula on the other end is 6-1 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Yulia Kutsenko via TKO. Who are you going with this in this? Who are you going with in this fight, brother? I'm going to give it to you to kick it off.
I mean, look, let's first start off with Melissa should have been fighting Dara Zelenyokova.
Okay.
Dara fought Alan Perez in
in France, right?
Yeah, in France. And it was, shout out to her. But basically, yeah, Marat should have been fighting, right? Like Montserrat, her name. I don't know what happened. Fight well through. Very lean girl, Mexican descent. Now, they kind of find Sygula. I don't know how short notice this fight is. I would want to kind of find out, but
yeah,
I don't know why I don't have that stat. But listen, the reality is you're facing a girl that's coming into the UFC, freshly minted, facing a 6-1 killer that's she's already been tested from the UFC.
Yeah.
She did beat Daria. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why she gets that minus 260. But champ, I mean, I gotta go with. Oh man, I'll go with Melissa. But on a low, but at a minus 260, man, I don't know. I don't like minus 260.
Yeah, I think, when I was looking into Sygula, she, you can argue that she has prominent striking, that she has some power. She has floated around on the regional scene. She's fought in bare knuckle, and I think her last fight was like a modified fight. Like, it had like weird rules, right? Mm-hmm. But she's going up against Melissa Mullins that has effective striking and grappling. She's known for her ability to control the fight in the clinch and use her wrestling to take opponents down, where she can dominate with ground and pound or look for submissions. She has good takedown defense and offense, power in her punches with the capacity to finish fights. I think Mullins is going to be the better fighter in this fight. She's more well-rounded. She has more paths to victory. I think she's going to take her down, control her, beat her. I'm going to go with the medium. I think Mullins does win. I think she's going to out-grapple her, secure takedowns, and control her. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Next up, my brother, we have Cody Stamann up against Damon Blackshear. Now, Stamann is the underdog at a plus 190, whereas Blackshear is the favorite at a minus 250. Stamann is 21-7 and is 2-3 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Taylor Lapalus via unanimous decision, whereas Blackshear is 14-7-1 and is 2-3 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Montel Jackson via KO, TKO, straight left. I think for me, the pick is going to be Blackshear. He's proficient striking. He looks to land significant strikes, especially where he can keep the fight standing. He has the edge when it comes to power, so he does have the ability to clip Stamann. He also has decent submission. He has a submission arsenal, which could be a threat if Stamann tries to grapple without caution. Issue is he's inconsistent, has bad takedown defense, right? When you look at Stamann, he's a good wrestler. His wrestling pedigree allows him to control fights on the ground, potentially could stifle Blackshear's offensive capabilities. he has good cardio too, and he has the boxing experience as well in this fight. But I think Blackshear pulls it out. I'm gonna go with Blackshear. It's gonna
I
be a
mean, listen, like, I love my dogs, and I got it with Cody Stamann, man. Like, I'll tell you something. Like, this is a very so here's the reality. I'm a guy that I look at fights and I'll be like, hey, well, what's the reach? It's a pretty nasty reach, man. It's not only a height differential, 4-inch height differential, but then the reach is almost 8, probably 8.5. And does Damon have the jab to keep him at bay, and then with the jab set up with the jab cross? Now, here's the thing about it. Like I think out of the opposition, I mean, look, Cody has faced a tougher opposition. That's not yes and no, because Damon has faced Montel Jackson, killer. Mario Bautista is also another killer. Mario Bautista now is ranked in the top 10.
Hey, 5. Listen, that's a name you don't want to mention, brother. He's the name that you mentioned in the MMA community. They're gonna come after you, man. But don't mention that name, brother. He's wanted. He's wanted around these parts.
Was I the only guy that think that he won? Is that what it is, bro? He messed up my. Well, did I parlay him?
I bet on him. My parlay hit, but I'm not gonna brag about it because I know what it does to people, man.
Put on Money in the King, but I'll say this I gotta go with Cody. I think Cody gets it done. Cody, unless Damon has new people in his camp, and that's the thing about it, you can't really tell. I gotta go with Cody. Cody will come up prepared. They will prepare him. He's somebody that has good footwork. But yeah, 35 versus 30-year-old. I think every fighter has one last fight. I think it's a low for Cody.
Yeah, and I think Stamann has the ability to take him down because his what's it called? Blackshear's lack of takedown defense could be an issue, right? If that's the game plan that he comes in with, right? Is to secure takedowns, control on the ground, take away his striking. So that is a possibility, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
I mean, unless he lands a knee KO in the first second, fast twitch. But I think Cody's going to come up prepared, footwork, distance, understand. But it's a low champ. But also, whoever loses this fight is getting cut from the UFC. Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah, it's cutting season, man. It's the end of the year. Whether you win or lose, you can get cut. We saw that with Alexander Romanov, right? He got cut earlier this week, so we'll see.
My boy Dirty.
Next up, we have a men's welterweight bout. We have Charles Radtke up against Matthew Semelsberger. Radtke is the favorite at a -170, whereas Semelsberger is the dog at a +135. Radtke is 9-4 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Carlos Prates via KO, TKO, knee to the body. Semelsberger is 11-7 and is 1-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Preston Parsons via unanimous decision. What do you think about this matchup? Who are you going with, man?
Man, I gotta say, shout out to Charles Radtke. Knowing he's coming from MMA Masters, he's gonna come a little bit more, not prepared, but he does. MMA Masters is the third rivaling camp to American Top Team, and then you have the other one, the what's that? Oh, the one that's the Blackzilians. It's just changed so many. The Henry Hoof camp, right? That's the third over there. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know why Zelsenberg is still in the UFC. I find it interesting. 4 out of 5 losses versus a guy, that's he's good, and he got knocked out to the main event fighter. Without hesitation, I got to go with Charles and low, and I say if Matthew's able to kind of like a footwork together, keep him at range, might happen. But yeah, I just don't like these losses, champ.
Yeah, I think for myself, it's gonna be Radtke as well. He has good striking, is powerful, he's aggressive, and likes to come forward with the pressure. He also has a wrestling background, so with taking all that into consideration and giving the momentum that he has, I think that he's going to pull out a victory here. He's going to mix it up, right? No disrespect to Semelsberger. He's also good on the he's also well-rounded and has some power with the striking, but just based on his recent performances in the last 5, I think he's going to take another L here, right? I think Radtke is the pick. So, yeah, I think overall he's a better fighter. He will mix in the striking and wrestling and, pull out a decision win. Yeah, moving on here. We agree on that one. We have Mansour Abdul-Malik up against Dusko Todorovic. Malik is the heavy favorite at a minus 375, whereas Todorovic is the underdog at a plus 280. I believe Abdul-Malik is making their debut. He is 6-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Wes Schultz via KO, TKO, ground and pound. Todorovic is 12-4 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Christian Leroy Duncan via KO, TKO, knee injury. The issue with this fight that I see with Todorovic is, although he has a good striking and technique and can also grapple, he's coming off an injury, right? And when people come off injuries, you don't know how they look. How's their mindset's going to be? Are they going to be? We saw it with what's homeboy's name? Mallet, right? He's going to come in gun shy. He's going to become in like a little hesitant because he doesn't want to re-injure himself. Where is his mental going to be at? So that's one thing to consider. When you look at Abdul-Malik, he's making his UFC debut. He's undefeated. He's primarily known as a grappler. He sets up his takedowns nicely. Often, beginning with his striking, right? He hits striking combinations and then he shoots, right? Getting close and securing takedowns. I think, you can look at an undefeated fighter making their debut and say that doesn't mean anything, right? We saw that at 308, right? With the Brazilian cat that was 11-0. Everybody thought, oh, this guy is going to come in, he's going to do well. And what happened? He got knocked out. It's a different level at the UFC. But I think, when you watch Abdul-Malik, I think he's just a fucking dominant grappler. I think he's going to pull out this win. I'm going to go medium, Abdul-Malik.
Yeah. And I say, shout out to MMA Masters. Another guy from that camp that's going to come in hot. And yeah, that camp, all I see is wrestling. And like the reach is also, he could kind of keep him at bay. So if he could decide to keep him at bay, take him down when necessary, hurt him up, I think he comes prepared. He comes from the mission. Yeah, like Dusko, I do wish him the best. Yeah, it's been close to 2 years. So I got to give it with. This is going to be a medium, and it's going to be for Abdul-Malik.
Okay, we're both going with Abdul-Malik. I'm going to go with the medium, and yourself, you're going to go with the medium or low?
Medium as well.
Medium? Right on, let's do it. This we have a men's welterweight bout. We have Elizeu Zelski up against a new opponent, Zach Scroggin. Zelski is 24-8-1 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Randy Brown via unanimous decision. Zach Scroggin, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so bear with me, is 7-0. He is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last winning via unanimous decision. Who do you got here, man? It's an 11-year difference. Wow. Who do you got, man?
Let's make something very clear. This is a very short replacement fight. This fight fell down. I think it was like less than 6 days ago. That being said, you got an undefeated fighter getting a chance to fight the capoeira master. This guy is like the capoeira skills off the chain, everything. This, if I'm not mistaken, this is the guy that put the beat on the French dude, right? Well, let me confirm that. Yeah, I'm right. He put the beating. Now, he weighed a little bit more weight. He didn't make weight, and it was just this situation. Francis Benoit. I think Benoit. Saint-Denis Benoit. Sorry, Francis Benoit. Saint-Denis Benoit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, at a minus 550, it's hard not to kind of take the capoeira master crazy. But, my big issue is like he's known for his kind of wild style, and he has pace. He's gotten very good with the discipline, but he is fighting this taller, younger prospect. Right? This guy's 28, 6'3" inches, well, 4 inch size inch, and Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm not betting on this fight, but I got to go with the experience, right? I think Zelski gets it done. I mean, and if not, this is not a good. It's not a good look for Elysius, because you're dealing with somebody with a ton of experience. We're talking about 30 plus fights, Jam.
Yeah.
30, 35, I would say 35 versus a kid that literally is coming out 7 wins, and yeah, he hasn't been fighting for more than 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and when you look at Zaleski, although he hasn't looked good recently, he's still a versatile fighter, right? He has good strikes, good kicks. He has some power and can keep the fight at range despite him being up against a taller opponent. He could also get into the pocket and fight. He can mix it up, utilize his grappling, secure takedowns. I think I'm going to edge on the side of experience here. I'm going to go with Zaleski myself, but it's going to be a low. I just don't know what I don't know how this guy's gonna look coming in on short notice, undefeated, up against an experienced fighter, right? We have seen some people have success. We saw it was it 3 weeks ago when Smotherman, right? He came in on short notice and he beat Hadley. So
And they cut that dude too, if I'm not mistaken. They cut
and they
the
cut him after, right? Because he was eye poking and doing all sorts of crazy shit. So we'll see. All right, moving on here. We have a women's strawweight bout. We have Luana Pinheiro up against Jillian Robertson. Pinheiro is 11-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Angela Hill via submission guillotine choke. Robertson is 14-0, 14-8-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Michelle Waterson Gomes via unanimous decision. I believe that was Waterson's last fight, right? If I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
I believe I was there for that. That's 303. If that's 303, I was there for that. Robertson is a grappler and will look to secure takedowns. Her striking isn't the best. She does get hit, but I think she's smart enough to not engage with Pinheiro. She'll probably get some takedowns, secure some takedowns. Pinheiro, she has a good judo background and a wrestling background. She likes to start off fast and aggressive. She's a good striker, but I'm gonna go with the wrestler in this fight. I think she's going to come in with the game plan to take her down, take away her strengths, take away the striking, take away the fast start, and kind of drag it out, and then, win this fight via that way. But it's going to be a low. I am going to go with Jillian here, but it's going to be a low for me.
I think Jillian has been evolving before our eyes. Jillian has I mean, look, her ground game when she gets girls in the ground, holy snap! Look, the Miranda Maverick loss. One of the things you see is, she tends to struggle with opponents that kind of have okay striking, good striking, but I'll power her like physically. I don't think Pinheiro will outgrapple her physically. I think Robertson will be the bigger fighter here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'll go with low. I mean, look, I don't like that. What do you call it? Pinheiro's last loss was that Angela Hill. Angela Hill's not really known for her ground game, right? Robertson is in it now. For a minus 265 champ, I'm gonna be 100 champ. It's a money life for me. I think maybe Pinheiro comes a little bit too hot, stuns her a little bit. It gets a little bit shaky. The odds go down. The floor price guy throws a little some. And by the second, brother, we got a submission.
Oh, wow. You're calling a submission win, huh? All right. We'll see what happens. We're both going with Robertson here. So far on this card, I think we've only been on the opposing end on one fight, right? Or have we been in? Yeah, I think on one fight.
And I'm going to see what the odd for the you can move out, but I want to check out the odd for the submission, right? Just because it's Robertson. I typically don't bet on results, but knowing it's Robertson and knowing Angela Hill submitted this other girl, it's different, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nick, what's up? What are the odds?
Yeah, no, Jillian, oof. Because I use Bulldog, right? So it's a minus 400 for Jillian Robertson. Out of the question. A plus 110 by submission.
Not
that
bad.
Makes it a little bit better. Decision is also a plus 260. I like that. Wow, interesting. So out of all the odds, they're also predicting the easiest outcome is a submission at a plus 110.
What are the do they have the rounds there? Like
Yeah,
over
they
round
got the
and a
rounds.
half.
Yeah, the
Over
rounds are.
what's the over 1.5?
I mean, look, they're the over 1.5. 1 second. Will this fight go to distance? Yes. No. Minus 200. Over and a half is over is minus 185.
And
Under
then
is plus 140.
and for 2.5?
No, they don't have those odds yet.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I
Moving
don't
on here, we have a men's middleweight bout. We have Gerald Meerschaert up against debuting in the UFC, Rainier de Ritter. Meerschaert is 37-17-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Edmund Shabazian via submission arm triangle choke. Which I was on. I had picked Shabazian to win that fight, and he kind of ruined my night with that. Shabazian rocked him, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna go in for the ground and pound." And what did he do? He went in and he got took. Whatever. That's how Meerschaert primarily always wins, right? Ritter is 17-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Magomed Murdad Kasiev via KO TKO punches. These guys, if you look at them, they're virtually the same type of fighter, right? They have good ground game, good background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They have great skills. I think this is going to be a tactical grappling match. They both can fight off their back. The thing is, who's going to have the advantage when it comes to the striking, right? Meerschaert isn't the best striker. He isn't that much of a good striker, right? He does get hit. His jaw has been proven to give out, right? But he doesn't get knocked out. He fights off his back. Now, I think the edge I'm gonna give it to is the Ritter. I like his style. I think if this was a strictly if they were to engage in a strictly striking match, right? No takedowns, I think Ritter has the slight advantage, right? And I think he's gonna have the advantage when it comes to striking against Gerald. Now, when it gets to the ground, it can go either way. We're gonna see a lot of scrambles. We're gonna see a lot of both of them fighting off their back. I'm gonna go with the Ritter, but I think it can go both ways. It can go either way. I think this could be a pick 'em, but I'm gonna go with the Ritter.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a very interesting fight here because one of the things, this was the prospect that got signed from ONE FC that held them belts. And by you seeing those 2 belts, one of the first things that pops into your mind is like, this guy has been undefeated by a while. No, but let's remember something. This guy, his first loss was roughly 2 years ago by Antoli, right hook, hammer fist to the body, and then there was a rematch, and he lost that too. I mean, look, it's just sometimes some fighters just have your number. Let's be honest with each other. Some guys just have it. That being said, I mean, look, he came back. He won his fight 3 months ago, KO versus a 6-1 fighter. Meerschaert is a dog. Now, I mean, look, if you want to beat Meerschaert, conditioning has always been an issue. Meerschaert does start very slow.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a hard one, Jam. I'm gonna be 100 with you. Oh man, I mean, look, what's his last loss against Petrosky? Split decision, close, and then Joe Pfeiffer. It's a bad dude. Oh, it's a bad dude. 36 versus 34. I'll tell you this, champ. Gerald gets it done.
Who gets it done?
Gerald gets it done.
Gerald? Yeah, I'm not mad at Gerald's a bad man, right? He has the most submission wins, I believe. It can go either way, but I'm gonna give the slight edge to the Ritter. We'll see what happens.
GM3 wants to welcome the former double champion to the division. It's hard because if this was a main event pay-per-view, it would have shook him a bit. But it's an Apex card. The boys will greet him. They'll give him a foot massage in the back. Hey, you get your first fight. I mean, I gotta go with, I think, Meerschaert, man. Put respect on my man's name.
I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it. We'll move on here. We have a men's bantamweight bout. We have Ricky Turcios up against Bernardo Sopaj. Look at that picture, bro. Look at Turcios. He looks like he's getting tortured, huh? It looks like they have him tied up, bro. He looks like he's crying. What's going on right there?
Yeah.
They need to update that photo, bro. Oh shit! All right. Well, Turcios is 12-4 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Raul Rosas Jr. via rear naked choke submission. He is the there's no odds for this fight, huh?
No, there is. Plus 270. It just got updated. Plus 275 for Ricky. Minus 350 for Bernardo, the Lion King.
That makes sense. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So cool. Sopaj is 11-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Vinicius Oliveira via KO flying knee, vicious knockout. Sopaj in the past has displayed impressive striking. He has a background that includes both technical boxing and kickboxing. He has the power in his strikes, as seen in his fights outside of the UFC. He has secured a lot of takedowns. The concern is, how do you come back from a knockout, right? That's always the concern for a fighter, right? How do they bounce back? Are they going to be gun shy? Are they going to be cautious? Are they going to be overly cautious? Are they going to be doubtful in their mind? Or are they going to come out looking to get back in the W column? That's the only concern I have with Sopaj, but he is going to be the pick. Ricky Turcios, when you look at him, he likes to throw with volume. He likes to outwork his opponents with a high pace and relentless pressure. However, in the past, his striking defense has been criticized. He does get hit, and that can be a vulnerability up against, Sopaj, who has good boxing and good kickboxing. And his grappling isn't the best. When he gets down in scrambles and stuff, he does have the ability to get submitted. He tends to rely on his cardio and the pace to win fights, but I think Sopaj is going to be the pick here. I'm going to go with Sopaj. It's going to be a medium.
I mean, look, all Ricky's fight in the UFC, the ones he's won, they're all been like very close split decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, this is a very tough fight. I also don't justify the minus 350, bro. I don't get it. I really don't get it. This is a tough one, champ. If I could skip it, I would skip it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we got to make a pick. I don't like the minus 350, champ. I don't see it. Do you see it? You see a minus? You see a minus 350 fighter here?
No, I do see him having. I see him as a plus, not a plus. I see him as a minus, like minus 150, minus 180, minus 350. Who knows? They're probably banking on the fact that he's had like vicious knockouts, and that he could probably, and the fact that Ricky does get hit. So maybe that's what they're banking it on. What are the odds for a knockout here? That's what's gonna tell you your answer.
Yeah, that's crazy. Plus 300. So their decision or plus 300 is the best. It's plus 300. Wins by decision or technical decision by 110.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna go with Ricky. Why? I feel he's had too many shit fights, and I think if he doesn't get it done, he's getting cut from the UFC. It's not a good look. I think he's gonna. He realizes that they told him, Papa, if you're not the hammer tonight, you're getting your walking paper. So we'll see. Very thin card. This is the co-main event. Very thin. Garbrandt, undisclosed. That fight was going to be. I was going to go big on Garbrandt, but they're very disappointed. Garbrandt was an underdog against Miles. Miles did want to fight, but no opponent.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're going to go with Turcios, the underdog. That's a big underdog. I'm going to go with Sopaj. We'll see what happens. All right. Next up, we have our new co-main event for the moment. A women's strawweight bout. Karolina Kowalkiewicz up against Denise Gomes. Carolina is the underdog at a plus 320, whereas Gomes is the heavy favorite at a minus 430. Do you agree with these odds? Let me ask you. Let me throw it back to you. Do you agree with Gomes being a minus 430 up against an experienced UFC vet at 39 years old?
Oh man, this is so tough. I think they're banking on this girl kind of fading. You know, she did fight for the title against Joanna Champion back in the day. 39 years old, champ, versus a 24-year-old fighter. I think that's why you're getting that discrepancy there, right? Like they're basically trying to tell you she's old, she's gonna fatigue.
Yeah.
This other girl's gonna put a pace on her. Fuck, man. Sorry for cursing. It's just a tough one, champ.
Yeah, Carolina does have the experience. She's fought tougher opponents, but when you look at Gomes and you see her fights, she has shown powerful Muay Thai techniques, particularly in her kicking game. She will chop you down like a tree. She has the ability to mix up strikes, and she's a versatile striker. She's aggressive. She tends to push the pace, which can be overwhelming for some opponents that like to start off slow, right? They're not used to that level of intensity, especially in the women's division. I think Gomes gets it done here. I think she's going to push forward. She's going to outstrike her. She's going to be very intense, very aggressive, and she's going to come forward, right? So I'm going to go with Gomes here. It's going to be a medium.
Yeah, I like Gomes. I'll go with Gomes at a low. I just think, like, 39 years old. I mean, look, we saw what happened with Rose. Rose is younger than Carolina. I'm not differentiating both fighters, but I just know Carolina has a tough time with fighters that throw heat.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Gomes.
All right. Now we'll dive into our main event here. We have Neil Magny, the underdog at a plus 475 up against Carlos Prates, the favorite at a minus 670. Now, Magny is 29, 12 and 0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Michael Morales via KO, TKO, ground and pound. Prates is 26 and 0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Jingliang Li via KO, TKO, left hook, knocking him out for the first time. This fight for me, it's very simple. I think Magny is at the point in his career where he's not fighting or contending for a title. He's kind of there to test up and coming prospects, right, in the welterweight division to see if they have what it takes in that step up of competition, right? I think he has taken that role. Magny has the wrestling background. He does have a nice jab. He utilizes his reach to keep the fight at distance. But he's going up against somebody who has all the momentum, right? He's fighting out of the Fighting Nerds gym. He will look to push forward, outpace Magny, and will outstrike him. Everybody, if you look at Topology and you look on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, everybody is banking on that, the fact that Prates is going to knock him out, right? I honestly think that is a possibility, but I also think that Prates, similar to Kyle Barala when he fought Jared Cannonier, is going to look to make a statement, right? He's going to actually try to wrestle with Magny and kind of demonstrate his grappling on the ground. But, kind of showcase how versatile he is as a fighter. But yeah, he's live for a knockout. I think Prates is going to come forward. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be too much for Magny. So Prates is the pick for myself. Sorry, that was a lot. My bad.
No, that was good, champ. I know my boy like the Fighting Nerds. My boy's a little biased. I know. You get stimulus checks from that camp, champ?
Hey, man, I wasn't wrong last time.
I mean, look, shout out to what do you call it, Kyle. Those boys got an impressive streak going on. They're all hungry. It doesn't help that Neil Magny is aging in this division, right? Like, they are testing up and coming fighters so let me say something. Mike Malott is a fighter that I respect a lot, a very gritty fighter. He dominated that first 2 rounds, and he made a mistake, and that mistake cost him. And Neil Magny capitalized. That's the veteran in him. Now, his last fight against Michael Morales. Um, it exposed some things, and one of those it was the kicks. And brother, if I go with Prates and Morales, Prates has heavy kicks, man. He's like, you could bet your butt he's gonna be doing calf kicks, high kicks, knees. Um, yeah, bro, and the reach ain't that much. You would think that okay, well the reach is that it's gonna be a long reach. Nah, brother. Neil Magny with a 2 reach inch advantage from the height, and a 2 inch reach advantage from the reach, the hand reach. I got to go with Prates. I will not be betting in this fight. The only way I will bet is if this gets dragged down to the third and fourth round, if he's not a finish.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm expecting Magny to maybe wrestle him, but it's just like this cat is so good. Like this cat's a Muay Thai guy, man. This guy, you wrestle this guy, he's gonna plummet you in that Thai clinch. He's gonna land knees, lands elbows. He's gonna go for trips. Then he's gonna go for flying knees. And like you said before, like his camp, they all have underdog mentality. So to just think this guy is like coming in with no wrestling experience, champ, he knows what he's been preparing for, champ. 26 and 20 and 6. He gets it done. I think. Now, if he ends up getting the KO, champ, this is massive for my guy Prates. Now, Neil Magny, like I said before, what are the odds of Neil Magny taking this boy to a decision?
Yeah, the odds. So I actually am looking at that. I'm looking up that right now. The decision odds are at a plus 450. So a lot of people are banking on the fact that this isn't going to go the distance. The odds for a KO, TKO, or DQ from either side is at a minus 500. The odds for a Carlos Prates TKO, KO, DQ is minus 400. Whereas for Magny, it's at a plus 2,000. So a lot of people are thinking he's going to knock him out.
That'd be crazy, champ.
He's gonna knock him out. And let's see the odds here. Let's see. Carlos Prates. Yeah. So look, Carlos Prates to win via KO in round 1 is plus 180. Round 2 is plus 350. Round 3 is plus 700. It's gonna go higher as it extends, right? They're predicting an early finish.
Well, and I love Bodog. Shout out to Bodog, one of the last unregulated. I don't know where they're from, brother. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna keep it at that. I'm not gonna fuck my boys. But minus 800. What do I do with that? What do you want me to do with that? Like, really, you want me to put $800 to make $100? Bro, I didn't do that for Trump, and I'm not gonna do it for Prates. Now, champ, I know you like it when I get spicy like this.
Spicy, brother.
I'm gonna take the odds, and they got my boy at a minus 335, 3 KO, bro. God damn, bro, that's crazy.
That's not crazy. It's not crazy given his recent. I mean, look, bro. Look at his last 5 fights. He's won them all by KO, bro. So the odds do justify themselves. He's won his last 5 via KO. So at minus 375, you got to look at the rounds, right? Do you think he gets it done in the first round or the second round, and find which odds do you think are more suitable for you? I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna really study it. Yeah, I'll see. I'll see later on in the week when I put out the picks.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think for this, let's be honest, this fight card isn't the best to be like, yeah, we're gonna do this, yeah, we're gonna like, I'm not so, I don't feel so secure on my picks on this card. Like, it's been a while since I felt this way, but there's a lot of rounds, and there's a lot of. Yeah, but it's just he's crafty, bro. Neil Magny survives. You feel me? Like, he's a dog, bro. So we'll see. We're gonna go through our bet, like Roy said. We're gonna have our bets posted up, and we'll see. They're probably gonna be a little bit degen bets. We'll see.
We will see that. But that rounds up our full card prediction, analysis, and picks. Here are our picks right here. Let us know whether you agree, whether you disagree. Make sure you follow us on X. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. We are growing this. We are being consistent. Every week we drop a video on Wednesday for these fight cards, and our full reaction the next day. unless the card is early, we do it the day of. But yeah, make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you show some love. Don't be stingy. I always say that. Thank you to all those who have supported us, who are continuously supporting us. We are going to grow this account. We are going to be consistent. That's the number one thing. And always hold ourselves accountable. When we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll let you know. We're not going to hide. We're not going to chase these crazy odds like some of these other fucking accounts that fucking, chase Chris Barnett via submission for a plus 8,000. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing over here? But anyways, Floor Price guy, any parting words for the people, man?
No, man. I mean, look, it's like the reality is like, oh man, I'm happy that next week we got John Jones. This card is slim. Not like, I mean, Prates.
Oh,
Is that
sorry.
how it is, champ? That's a good card. That's a very good card, champ.
Yeah.
This card, I mean, like, look, it just too many things fell. Let's be honest. Too many. If Nicola Dalby would have stayed, it would have been that would have been a crazy fight. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're looking to bet, I would say just be careful this fight. Lots of big favorites, but not really. The value isn't really there. So just be careful on the KO submission and everything. So yeah.
And always keep in mind that bets are different from picks, right? We could be picking somebody to win a fight, but the bet could be that they go over a certain round, that they secure X amount of takedowns, yada yada yada, right? So always keep that in mind. Always be mindful of that. We're Combat Sport, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for showing love. Love what you love. Do what you do. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Yeah.